So we had a problem on assignment 10, which had to do with coffee. And in that problem, we had an equation, capital T equals 65 plus 105 e to the negative 0.64 t. And your numbers might have been slightly different, but the function was basically the same. The coefficients were a little different. In this problem, capital T stands for the temperature of the coffee, and the lowercase t is the number of minutes that the coffee has been cooling. So anyway, the first part of the problem says basically to find the initial temperature. And initial indicates to us that we should plug a 0 in for the lowercase t. That's what I tried to write here, although as you can see the handwriting could be better. I'm still getting the hang of this thing. But let's get to the math. Let's not worry about the handwriting right now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 0 in where the little t is. And so that gives me this equation. T, capital T, equals 65 plus 105 e to the negative 0.064 times 0. And I mean 0 is one of my favorite numbers to do math with. I think you probably know why. This simplifies as follows. We get 65 plus 105 times e to the 0. And anytime you raise a number to the 0 power, you get a 1. So this is basically t equals simply 65 plus 105, and that's 170 degrees. So for that initial temp, we're talking about 170 degrees. And that was what they were asking for in part A. Now part B was a little bit of a different story. In part B, they're asking us about when the coffee is going to be ready to drink, and they're estimating that to be about 120 degrees. So we're going to plug 120 in for the capital T. So that equation is going to look like this. I put the 120 in where the T is, and then we have to solve for the lowercase t, right? We're looking for the time it takes to get down to that temperature. And so we're going to have to solve this exponential equation. And for that, we're going to need our good friends, the logarithms. Before we do that, we have a lot of simplifying to do. The first thing I need to do is get this 65 out of there, right? And 120 minus 65 is, I think 55. And then I also need to deal with that 105. So I'm going to divide both sides by 105. And since I'm going to crank all this out on my calculator in a few minutes anyway, I'm just going to leave that 55 over 105 like that. We'll type that in the machine and let it deal with that for us. I can probably reduce that, but let's not worry about it right now. What we really need to worry about is the fact that we've got this exponential equation. Now the good news is that our base is e. And so when we take the natural log of both sides, which is what we're supposed to do here, natural log of 55 over 105 equals the natural log of e to the negative 0.64, you know what happens here. Basically, this natural log is going to undo this e to the, and we end up with just our exponent. So I now have the natural log of 55 over 105 equals negative 0.064 t. And then, oh goodness, let me draw a little blue line here and we'll finish right on the screen. To solve this thing, I need to divide by negative 0.064. So I'm going to end up with the expression little t equals the natural log of 55 over 105, which remember is just some number, our calculator will tell us, over negative 0.064. So when you're typing this on your calculator, make sure you use your parentheses, but you're going to type in natural log function, parentheses, 55 divided by 105, parentheses, then hit divide again, and then type in the negative 0.064, and I think you're going to come out to be about 10.1 minutes. So a little over 10 minutes and you get to actually drink your coffee so it doesn't burn your mouth. So that's the gist of these problems, and the key on this thing, I mean, which we've talked about before, is when you want to solve an exponential equation, you want to get at that exponent, you got to take the natural log of both sides. Okay? Hopefully that cleared it up, and good luck on that quiz we got coming up here. See ya.